6 a.m. at Strength and Health Gym. We're getting ready to do some heavy low back today. Stiff-legged. Today I'd like to talk about why working out gives us energy. We've all heard people talk about that. Lay people that don't have a lot of experience, they recognize the fact that exercise and working out does in fact increase energy. So what is the dynamic behind that? Well, basically what it is the fact that when you're working out, it increases your cardiovascular endurance, improves your conditioning so that you're able to train harder. So it's that very conditioning that we improve upon as a result of exercise that gives us that extra energy. Our body becomes more metabolically efficient, we process our foods better, and so everything kind of ties together and it gives us more conditioning, therefore more energy and more stamina. Okay? And this applies to working out. It's the same thing with high intensity training. You know, a person has to have the conditioning in order to train hard. You can't have one without the other. To train hard and intense, you must have the conditioning to do so. So it's just the very nature of high intensity training that enables that conditioning in order to push to higher thresholds of intensity. You know, I see a lot of people working out, I see a lot of people lifting weights, but I see very few people training, especially training properly. You know, Arthur Jones had a few quotes that I recall back in the early 70s. He had an analogy about a baseball bat. The analogy was the fact that you could take a pillow and hit yourself over the head all day long and nothing would happen. Whereby you pick up a baseball bat, one hit, you're going to fall on the ground, knock you out cold. And secondly, the thing that I recall, one of his quotes that he said was that you can train hard or you can train long, but you cannot do both. It's like taking a trip. It's like a journey. We already know in advance how many miles and approximately how long it's going to take to reach our destination. We have a lot of people that approach training kind of with a fantasy mentality. They believe in like teleportation, and somehow just by showing up and going through the motions that they're going to reach their goal. And that's just not feasible or practical. Proper training requires a lot of planning and structured flexibility in one's training, whereby they know exactly how and why they're doing what they're doing. High-intensity training is more than just training hard, but it's also training smart. It's a matter of determining when to apply the right dose of exposure of a certain kind of exercise with a certain resistance at the right time. And, you know, I like to use the analogy of a bomb, which I know nothing about, but let's pretend, for example, that a bomb has 100 parts to it, one of which might be the same part that we find in a washing machine, but in of itself as inert doesn't really do much to contribute so much to the explosive nature of the device. However, when combined together with the rest of the parts, symbiotically and synergistically, now it creates a very powerful explosion. Same with exercise. Each and every component should be predicated upon the other. Synergistically, the sum of all parts creating the whole.